Hi guys, happy Thursday. It's almost the weekend. It's wonderful. Alright, so yeah, I don't know what book I'm reading, the Grimoire for a Modern Cunning Folk by I don't know who. So the cunning art, it did make sense to an extent. Now we have gods and archetypes on the crooked path. This is really kind of different from the Cornish Book of Ways, so I don't know how I feel about this. It gives you a little more insight, but I don't know. So here we go. Alright, so we have gods and archetypes on the crooked path. So it is important to remember that the crooked path can be walked in the shadow of any religion or spirituality, or none at all for that matter, okay? But it's a religion in itself, from Gary's books. So the gods encountered on the path are very likely to be strongly influenced by the god or gods of the religion practice. But there are certain archetypes that are embodied for the modern crafter that are universal. So, alright, this is quite a difference in opinion among various pagans as to the nature of deity. Well, obviously, there's always... yeah. So, for some, they are living, breathing entities in their own right, while others see them as archetypes or representations of deep-seated facets of our own psyche. So the whole argument, of whether they come from within or without, is debated fiercely and externally on various internet forums, but ultimately the only opinion that matters is your own, formulated from your own experience. So that, I do agree with that 100%. So he says here, for myself, I always answer both, not only because there are differences in the nature of different deities, but because, he says, I believe, based on his own subjective experience in interaction with the gods and goddesses he works with, that they truly do partake of both. So that does make sense as to the gods and goddesses of the old path, the old ways. But in traditional witchcraft, we really only work with Buka. Buka Du, Buka Gran, and Buka Gwitter. So, but now we have the Horned Lord, or Ald Horny, or Old Horny. So, also known as the Horned Master, this is the archetypical god of the witches, and can be embodied by the All-Father, Odin, Herni, Cernunnos, Gwyn, and other similar deities. So he is often portrayed as the master magician, a trickster who teaches us by putting us through experiences. So that does make a lot of sense, actually. The trickster that puts us through experiences so that we can actually gain the knowledge and stuff from those. So there are strong influences of the underworld as well as the wild man of the forest, and he almost seems to be using his human visage as a mask for something older, deeper, and darker. Now that I really can draw towards Cornish witchcraft, which is, I like that. Now in Scottish witchcraft, he would be unashamedly referred to as the De'el, and certainly plays the role in the devil in the pre-Christian sense. The adversary who provides the momentum and motivation to move through the experience and achieve the goal. So that kind of opposing force is kind of building you up, saying, okay, yeah, you're going to do this, and then just kind of prepare yourself. Which makes sense. So, alright, where did I go? Okay, there are strong, I already read that to you guys, so, The adversary, okay, so yeah. Now, in this way, he is the devil wrestled in the churchyard for the toad bone, the black man at the crossroads, yes, who grants us our greatest desire. So the trickster who fools us into thinking that the path of fate we walk is one that we actually chose. So, that's pretty interesting. That's really very, very interesting. And now we actually have Le Grand Belle Dame, Sans Merci, or the White Lady. Often referred to as the Queen of Fate. She is frequently mistaken for the Great Mother, of nature-based religions, but she is not a nature or fertility goddess, but rather the mistress of the mysteries. So cold and aloof, she nevertheless brings us what we need on the path, and is often embodied by such goddesses as Goda. Okay, we did read about that in, or we did go over that in the other series. So in Briar Rose, they rarely call upon her, but she will make her presence known when there is a need, and she is always present at their initiations. So that makes a little bit of sense. I mean, we don't, in traditional Cornish craft, there's really no goddess. I mean, there is, but that's just the female principle, so. Alright, now we have the Black Goddess, or the Dark Mother, yes. It is said that the Dark Goddess exists outside the Wheel of Manifestation in the Great Stone Circle of Existence. She is the heel stone that stands beyond, to the northeast. She is the fixed point to which we apply the lever of our will in order to move the universe and bring about change. So that shows me the Wheel of Fortune tarot card. Where'd I go? Where did I go? Someone say that she is embodied by such as Cerridwen, or the Mill Wife. And there is certainly value in exploring that, but it is wise not to let that become an assumed truth, because there is far more to this enigmatic lady than that. So encountering the Black Goddess is an essential part of your path if you wish to master the cunning arts rather than just a journeyman. But it is not an easy or enjoyable experience in most cases. Nothing can prepare you for the way that she turns your life upside down. By the same token, there is no substitute for the total transformation she brings about. So that's very interesting as well. They're really interesting. And we have the Lord and the Lady, which is very, very Wiccan, and I'm not understanding why this is in here. So the Lord and the Lady here, it can be embodied by the gods and goddesses of nature or by the fairy court. So it is the Lord who is manifest in the Wheel of the Year as the sacred king, and the Lady who is his consort. So he goes through his metamorphosis from child of promise, through warrior, lover, priest, and king, to the wraith form of the dragon beneath the mound. Okay, that makes a little more sense then. Each year at midwinter, he is born of the Dark Mother's barren cauldron in wraith form, to be brought to manifestation as a child of promise by the maid. Brought into manhood by the mother, and sacrificed by the crone, and reborn by the queen. So I don't know, that just doesn't, I don't know if that makes sense or not. I do not know if that really makes sense or not. So, alright, we have notable points on the path of the king. So this is this is very different now. So everything hangs on the wheel. So, as in most esoteric, so there is more to that statement than meets the eye, but it is true that in this path, the Wheel of the Year creates a powerful framework on which to hang lore, practice, and ritual in a way that ties everything together. So, for us, the cycle of festivals laid out around the Wheel of the Year embody the journey of the king, and our seasonal rites are all about enacting these mysteries, rather than the agricultural, seasonal ritual celebrations found in Wicca. Okay, yeah, this is not Wicca. So, for simplicity, the 8 Sabbaths are included, that are familiar from Wiccan lore and literature. Some traditional crafters, including these people, use them, others do not, but they are a good balanced starting point. You might want to eventually add to them, replace them altogether, but they are perfectly fine as a starting point. So, who is the king? Well, he is the sacred king, the hero of myth and lore, often personified as a slain and risen god like Lu, Osiris, or Jesus. Okay, we tend to work primarily with the Welsh deities. Alright, maybe this is why I'm not understanding this so much. So much of our wheel work revolves around the aspects of the story of Lu, although it applies also to Math, son of Methanawi, Mabon, son of Modron, and many other heroes. So it is important to note that while the term king is a masculine title, and many of the heroes of these stories are male, the mysteries themselves are not gendered, and can be enacted or worked by either sex. Alright, I like that. So we sometimes look to myths that have a female protagonist to make this clearer, but in truth the important polarity in the myth is that of initiator and the facilitator. So rather than male and female, we have used the sacred king cycle in several different ways by having a person carrying a sacred king for the coven through an entire year, having a male and female Jack and Jill. Ooh, we're getting into the old nursery rhymes. Work the cycle together, and with everyone being their own personal sacred king. So we also run through a couple of years with a different person as sacred king for each Sabbath. So each version has its pros and cons. Carrying sacred king on behalf of the coven is a very profound experience for the individual, but it does tend to relegate the other coveners to the role of spectator, though they can still get deep insights if they make the effort. So in an ideal world, everyone would get to take their turn at it, but in a larger group that entails waiting several years for your turn to carry the sacred king. It's very different, very different. So if you guys can make sense of this, please do. I mean, I'm kind of making sense of it, it's just kind of difficult. It does not make sense like traditional craft. So using the Jack and Jill model speeds up the process as well as exposing the initiator or initiate relationship nicely. But it is a very different cycle because of the focus has changed. So letting everyone be their own sacred king keeps everyone involved, but the focus is on the personal path then, rather than the shared lore and egregore of the coven. So we have found that changing it up between all the methods to be most effective, because it enables us to use what is appropriate for the dynamics of the group, the specific time period, and the wider world. So I don't know if I care for this too much. I guess I'm gonna have to just get a little deeper into that book, but I don't know. It's not really making. Some of it rings true to the heart. Some of it doesn't. A lot of it doesn't. The fact that it's very closely linked to Wicca, but I mean I'm still in the beginning of the book. I'm only on page 20, so we'll have to see, and yeah, we'll have to find out what comes about from that. So, alright guys, I hope you have a great Thursday. Everybody please be safe. Craziness going on. So, but yeah, I love you guys very, very, very much, and I will see you guys in just a minute for the live. So, all my love, all the way from Venus. I'm tired. All the way back down. And I will see you all tomorrow. So thank you guys for watching. And I love you guys very much. And everybody have a good day.